United Nations World Food Programme, or WFP, receives contribution from Switzerland. In rural and remote areas of Tajikistan, an estimated 18,000 people have suffered reduced incomes due to the COVID-19 pandemic and cannot afford to buy sufficient food. At the same time, individuals who had traveled to other countries for employment have not been able to send money home. But with $1.1 million from the Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation, WFP is supporting vulnerable families through a Cash for Work initiative. Participants are paid for working on irrigation canals, drinking water supply systems, and forestry projects that will benefit their communities. The funds will not only give citizens access to adequate nutrition, it will also buoy up the local economies. Many thanks, Switzerland and World Food Programme. Your noble collaboration inspires us to always take care of others, as we ourselves would want to be taken care of.
Atmospheric methane continues to increase at alarming rate. The Global Carbon Project is an international community of scientists focused on greenhouse gases. It recently published findings for 2017, the last year for which complete methane data are available. The Earth's atmosphere absorbed nearly 600 million tons of the colorless and odorless gas. This means that methane emissions have grown on average by 50 million tons each year since the early 2000s. The only region of the world that has improved in the last 20 years is Europe, thanks to stricter controls on chemical manufacturing, more efficient methods of growing food, and reduced consumption of beef. Our sincere appreciation Global Carbon Project researchers for pointing out the urgency of our climate crisis. We pray for humanity to forsake using animals for food as soon as possible in order to rescue our planet and all Earthlings.
Experts evaluate carbon dioxide removal using enhanced rock weatherization. When rocks erode naturally, they release mineral salts that dissolve in rainwater and draw carbon dioxide from the air to form bicarbonate ions. These molecules are washed into waterways that eventually reach an ocean, where they form minerals that permanently store their carbon. In a study led by the University of Sheffield in the United Kingdom, scientists used modeling and simulations to determine the possible benefits of distributing rock dust over farmlands to accelerate the sequestering process. They found that the technique could pull up to 2 billion metric tons of CO2 from the atmosphere each year while improving the quality of the soil and diminishing ocean acidification. Hats off, University of Sheffield researchers! We pray that your creative solution for reducing carbon dioxide will be widely implemented and help curb future climate change in God's all-embracing mercy.
Female bus drivers hired in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, until recently the Roads and Transport Authority, or RTA, employed women to drive taxis and limousines, as well as one female school bus driver. But on July 3, 2020, the department brought 3 new recruits on board as the first women in the Middle East to drive public buses. Commenting on the move, Ahmed Hashim Bahrouzian, CEO of RTA's licensing agency, stated the step creates job opportunities for women in a field dominated by men and promotes the culture of using public transport in the community, thus contributing to the delivery of better services to clients. Congratulations, newly appointed drivers and the Roads and Transport Authority for making progress toward an equitable balance of employment opportunities. May your nation continue its upward trajectory in the abundant grace of Allah.
Dedicated crew performs outstanding open sea cleanup. Ocean Voyages Institute is a non-profit organization based in California, United States, dedicated to teaching maritime skills and preserving the world's oceans. In 2019, they voyaged for 25 days in the northeastern Pacific Ocean to remove 48 tons of garbage. The waters of the North American West Coast contain a circular pattern of currents where trash tends to accumulate. This year, the Institute's chartered cargo ship sailed from Hawaii twice, in May and July 2020, to collect a total of 170 tons of old fishing nets and plastic debris, almost 4 times as much as last year. The rubbish will be sent to facilities in the US for upcycling into fuel and insulation for buildings. Encouraging news, Ocean Voyages Institute. Your meaningful efforts to restore a healthy marine environment will benefit all beings on Earth and generations to come.
Statistics show people in Finland are eating less meat. According to a recent report from Natural Resources Institute Finland, overall meat consumption in the country started to decline in 2019. This reversed a previous upward trend and reflects a growing awareness of meat's many undesirable consequences. Dr. Mari Niva, a professor of food culture at the University of Helsinki, says Finns are reconsidering the place of animal-based products in their diets. For example, consumption of non-fat cow's milk and cheese dropped off dramatically in the last 5 years. Data also indicate that as Finnish citizens become more health-conscious, they are including more fresh vegetables in their meals and cutting back on sugar. Our delighted applause Natural Resources Institute Finland. We pray that a complete transition to plant-based living is around the corner in the embrace of the Providence.
Liberated cetaceans enjoy peace and dignity. In September 2019, Rick O'Barry's Dolphin Project partnered with government agencies and animal rights groups in Indonesia to create a permanent rehabilitation center for rescued dolphins. Situated in Banyuwedang Bay, West Bali, the sanctuary nurses the mammals back to health and determines whether they can return to the wild. The first 3 residents arrived in January 2020 after spending several years confined to a hotel swimming pool for the entertainment of guests. Their new environment enables them to heal physically and emotionally. Commenting on the refuge, Mr. O'Barry said, "It's a model. It can be duplicated. And we're trying to do that in Europe as well, in Italy and in Crete." Our hearts are touched, Rick O'Barry and all involved, for your kind-hearted service to the sensitive dolphins. May our loving consideration for all animals hasten the arrival of lasting peace on Earth.